G'day Eagles fans, welcome to Ask Simmo, presented by ECU. It's the fans' chance to ask the questions each week, and the winner will receive, which Simmo selects, a Superstore voucher. A lot of armchair coaches this week after the loss of the Saints.
I'm starting to regret this segment. Anyway, bring it on.
All right, let's get straight to it. Ryan McCallum on Facebook. In your press conference, you talked about being predictable, and when we're under pressure in the second half, we continue to kick to the same wing. With our elite kicking skills, should we not try and stretch the game as far as possible, creating space, and then pick the best option?
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. I think we conceded, 7 or 8 scores in a row. So that's the way we normally play. We tried to close things down a little bit, made it a bit more of a contest, get some stoppages, just grind out 4 or 5 minutes. The decision is normally do that or try and control the ball. Saints' pressure was just too good at the time to control the footy, so we tried to just shut the game down a little bit, and we didn't get a lot of success out of that. I think a lot of it was from kick-ins as well, so obviously not having Shannon there didn't help, but we just didn't get it done in the contest.
It's a great question, Ryan. Well done to you. Chris on Twitter says you've rotated small forwards through this team so far this year. Langdon, Jones, Petch, Archie and Winder. What are they assessed on, and is it more than just kicking goals?
It is. It's probably the hardest role in the side. So we want them kicking goals and being part of a score assists, I suppose, or score involvements. But they've got to put pressure on as well, and they've got to run to certain positions to help defend the ground, which combine all three, it's a tough gig. So sometimes our players will have really good role-driven games and not get much of the ball. Ideally, we want to get best of both worlds. So. Yeah, that's the challenge of those boys. It
is a challenge also to back it up, so good luck to those players who did well on the weekend, including Jack Petruccelli. Stefan on Twitter says, was there a lack of organisation around the stoppage structures, and is this where you miss Luke Shuey?
That's a good question. You can look at that. I think Luke's our best leader with being organised around centre bounces and stoppages. But I think it was more intent than structure. It was a pretty basic structure, and we didn't get it done at all, really, for the whole day. So we held on in different areas in the first half, but in the second half we got exposed. I think pre-clearance contested possessions, which is a random stat for some people, but we're minus 22. And that was pretty much 1v1. So we pulled a few levers to help that, but it didn't work.
Mark Salvati on Facebook says we lost Shuey, as we've mentioned, and you went with Jake Waterman into the team, and there was a lot of talk about Xavier O'Neill not playing. What was your rationale behind picking Jake over Xavier?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Xavier's still working on some things in his game. Unfortunately, Dom felt a bit crook, so we flew Xavier over as an emergency. He missed an opportunity to play at waffle level. But the balance of our side, we played not Waterman, we played Brander as a permanent midfielder, so a bit of a wing and on ball roll, which really is a standard look for us if you look at it, our mids in our side. Wasn't much of an issue halfway through the third. And on reflection after the game, it looked like we were a mid short, an inside mid. So we'll keep working through that. It's such a contrasting game for us. So to be so dominant, in particular on the scoreboard, and then be so off in the second half, we've got to look at that.
And speaking of looking, we're going to look forward with this question on Facebook from Cody Mills. With another big game coming up Friday night, what do you think the focus is, or you would know what the focus is this week already with the playing group at training, and will we see any major changes and the way they play? And clearly you'll be backing the boys in to bounce back on Friday.
Yeah, it's an interesting year, isn't it? Like there's not too many sides have been a consistent 4-quarter, reliable type of side. We want to be that, and I thought last week was one of our best wins for a long time, and this week one of our more disappointing halves in particular. So we won't be changing too much in terms of the way we play. We think it stacks up and we play at our best. The challenge is to be playing at our best for 4 quarters, and that's hard to do. We'll take 3 out of 4 quarters even, quite often that gets us a good result. So, and Collingwood's a, massive challenge for us. I think they've beaten us twice out of the last 4 times they've played here. So they'd have no fear about coming over. And they're on the rebound as well.
Yep, going to be a massive challenge for the boys on Friday night. Okay, so now you do have to pick the question of the week thanks to ECU. They get a Team Store voucher. Lots of great merch at our Superstore here at Mineral Resources Park.
What was the first one? Who asked
the first one was Ryan McCallum, which I was concerned about, but you just jumped straight in. You loved that.
We'll go with Ryan.
Ryan,
what's he get?
He gets the Team Store voucher.
Okay.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Or not in the coach's box. The way he's going.
You could find something a bit better, on top of that.
We'll do that. We'll do what we can do. There you go. Brian McKellen from Facebook. The coach has spoken. This has been our Simmo. Thanks to ECU.